So in this session we are going to discuss about triangles. That is your next chapter. So what is a triangle? A triangle is a polygon with 3 line segments, or it is a simple closed figure with 3 line segments. So a polygon with 3 line segments, or you can say a simple closed figure with 3 line segments. How many types of triangles are there? So we can classify the triangles into 2 based on the number of sides. That means based on the sides, not number of sides, based on the sides. We can divide into 3 categories. The first one is, if all the 3 sides of a triangle are equal, then we call it as equilateral triangle. This symbol indicates all are having the equal length. Equilateral triangle. Second one, if any 2 sides are equal, if any 2 sides, either these 2 sides or these 2 sides or these 2 sides, if any 2 sides are equal and third being the other different side, such a triangle is called as isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle. And the third one, if no 2 sides are equal, if no 2 sides are equal, such a triangle is called as scalene triangle. Scalene triangle. Based on the number of, based on the sides. Anyhow, we have 3 sides. 3 sides in a triangle. 3 sides and 3 angles. 3 sides and 3 angles. So based on the sides, it has been classified into 3. First one is equilateral triangle, second one is isosceles triangle, and third one is scalene triangle. Now based on the angles, again we classified into 3. The first one is acute angle triangle. Acute angle triangle. So what is the acute angle triangle? If each angle in a triangle is less than 90 degrees, each angle is less than 90 degrees, then such a triangle is called as acute angle triangle. The second one is, if any one angle is equals to 90 degrees, if any one angle equals to 90 degrees, such a triangle is called as right angled triangle. Right angled triangle. The last one, if any one angle is greater than 90 degrees, this is greater than 90 degrees, so it is called as obtuse angled triangle. Obtuse angled triangle. So any one angle is greater than 90 degrees. So these are the types of triangles we have. So it has 3 sides and 3 angles. Based on the sides, it has been classified into 3 types. Equilateral, where all sides are equal, and isosceles triangle, any 2 sides are equal. Scalene triangle, no 2 sides are equal. In equilateral triangle, there is also a property that each angle is 60 degrees. Each angle is at 60 degrees in equilateral triangle. Next, coming to the angles. Before that one, we have discussed about isosceles also. In isosceles also, these two sides are equal. That means the sides correspond, the angle corresponding to these two sides. That means these two angles are equal. We call them as base angles or adjacent angles. The adjacent angles are equal. Okay. Next, scaling. No angle is equal. Okay. So here, acute angle triangle. Each angle is less than 90 degrees. Here, if any one angle is equal to 90 degrees, then it is called as right angle triangle. Next, if any one is greater than 90, that is called as obtuse angle triangle. So we shall see now the other properties of triangle. So properties of triangle. The very first property is that angle sum property. Angle sum property. What is angle sum property? So we know that in a triangle we have three angles. Sum of these three angles is equals to 180 degrees. All these three are called as interior angles. So angle sum property, what is the angle sum property defines? The interior angles. If we add these three interior angles, it will sum up to 180 degrees. Second one, exterior angle property. Exterior angle. Exterior angle property. What is the exterior angle property? If you produce any side of a triangle, an angle is formed to the exterior extended part and the line segment. This is called as exterior angle, and whatever the value we are getting is the sum of these two angles. These two are called as non-adjacent interior angles. Non-adjacent interior angles. So exterior angle is equals to sum of the non-adjacent interior angles. Sum of the non-adjacent interior angles. So this is exterior angle property. So how many exterior angles we can get in a triangle? So we can get three exterior angles. So 1, 2, 3. Three exterior angles and three interior angles. So this is about first two properties of the triangle. Next, in earlier classes we have studied about the congruency of triangles. What do you mean by congruency? Congruence. So your entire chapter is based upon these congruency principles, axioms. Okay, in some textbooks it will be given as axioms, rule, or criteria, whatever it is. So congruency. What do you mean by congruency? Congruency nothing but take two objects. If you compare two objects, if they are having the similar shape and size, if they have similar shape and size, such type of objects or figures are called as congruent objects, or those are following the congruency. So similar shape and size. Take 1 rupee coin. One more 1 rupee coin will be there, which is having the same shape. What is the shape here? Circular shape, and size also same. Size also same. You can take one more example. Your palms. When you overlap your palms one another, it will be having the same shape and size. Similarly, if you take the 2000 rupee note, I have taken one more 2000 rupee note. So are they similar in shape? Yes, because the shape is rectangular shape and size also same. They will not differ in the size. So what is by congruent? Two objects are said to be congruent if they are having similar shape and size. So this congruency is defined with the symbol called as congruent symbol. On equal to symbol, a symbol called as small symbol, curved shape symbol, it is called as this curved shape symbol is called as tilde symbol. You can see on the computer keyboard this type of symbol. Okay, on equal to symbol, this tilde symbol will be there. So this equal to stands for same size and equal stands for same shape. Similar size and shape or similar shape and size. Okay, that's why this is the congruent symbol. So there is another type of figures also called as similar figures. Similar in the shape, similar in a shape but different in a size. If you take 1 rupee coin and 2 rupee coin, are they similar in shape? Yes, they both are similar in shape. Both are circular in shape, but size wise they are different. If you take a 100 rupee note and 2000 rupee note, are they having the same shape? Yes, they are having the same shape, but size is different. So we have similar figures also, which you are going to learn in your 10th standard, but in your 9th standard, congruency. So based upon the congruency, we have some problems and we have 4 axioms. Congruency axioms. We can say axioms or rule or criteria. Okay. So we are going to learn one by one today. So we'll see few more examples. If I took 2 circles with same radii, same radius. This circle has a radius of 6 centimeters and this is also 6 centimeters. Let us suppose. So 2 circles with the same radii is the plural form of radius. So radian, plural form of radius. So 2 circles with the same radii always congruent. 2 squares with the same side, for example 4 centimeter, 4 centimeter, they are always congruent. Next, triangles. Suppose this is triangle ABC and triangle PQR. So I am saying that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. So this is how you have to write. The naming convention is also very important. You have to write ABC PQR. Think that this is having 6 centimeters length, 8 centimeters and 10 centimeters, and this one also 6 centimeters, 8 centimeters and 10 centimeters in length. Now A and P will be in correspondence. So A and B in P in correspondence, B and Q will be in the correspondence, and C and R also in the correspondence. So naming conventions also triangle ABC, in the same way you have to come in the next triangle also. Triangle PQR. You should not write triangle ABC, triangle PRQ. It will be wrong. Triangle ABC, triangle PQR are congruent. So these are called as naming conventions. So naming conventions of the triangles also very very important in congruency of a triangles. So you have to be very careful. So we are move on to the axioms. The very first axiom we are having side angle side congruence. Already in 7th standard we have learned about this axioms. Side angle side axiom. The very first axiom we are having. What is side angle side axiom? Side angle side axiom. If you take two triangles, take this triangle as an AFS and one more triangle SYE or BYE. AFS triangle, BYE triangle. Two triangles are now taken. The definition of SA's axiom says that two sides of a triangle and one included angle. Any two sides. I can take any two sides of a triangle. For example, think that I am having these two lengths as like this. In the other side of the triangle also, I have the same type of lengths. These lines indicate lengths, okay, and included angle. Side angle side axiom. If two sides of a triangle and one included angle, included in the sense that angle should come in between the two line segments. Two line segments of a triangle or two sides of a triangle and one included angle of a triangle is equal to two sides of another triangle and another included angle here. If they are equal, we can say that these two triangles are equal or congruent. Suppose, take it as an activity. Take sheet of paper, two papers, cut this with some length, consider some 5 centimeters. You cut another triangle also, another shape also with 5 centimeters. Okay. Now, you take certain angle here, name it as some 60 degrees, and take one more line segment as 4. You cut it. Cut the paper with 5 centimeters length with the help of protractor. 60 degrees angle you make and cut this paper, and you join the, that is, you cut the remaining part. You will reach up to the edge of the paper when you have cut the 4 centimeters. From there you cut the other side. You will get one triangle. And here also the same process. 5 centimeters, 60 degrees angle, and then 4 centimeters. Again the same, you have to join. What will happen when you measure the lengths of these two line segments? They will automatically equal. So they will be automatically equal. Not only they will equal, these angle also will be equal. These two corresponding angles and these two corresponding angles. So in this entire chapter, we have to use this terminology called as corresponding angles, corresponding sides. Okay. So corresponding angles, corresponding angles, corresponding side, corresponding side, corresponding side, corresponding vertices, corresponding vertices, corresponding vertices. So as we have said, based upon this SAS axiom, when two sides of a triangle and one included angle of a triangle is equal to another two sides of a triangle and included angle on another triangle, then we can say that triangle AFS is congruent to triangle BYE. Because these two are congruent, automatically remaining all line segments and angles also will become congruent. So we call it as corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal. In short, we call it as CPCT. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles. CPCT rule we can say. Once the triangles are congruent, automatically we can analyze, we can say that remaining sides also congruent. Remaining angles also congruent. So now we have this example, in this axiom, we have compared only the sides, this side and this side, and this corresponding side with this corresponding side, and included angle. We have compared only these three things, but after this congruency is decided, automatically the remaining side and included angles also will become equal. That means this will be equal to this one, this will be equal to this one, and this side will be equal to this one. Clear? So that is called as SAS axiom and corresponding parts of congruent triangles. Not only in SAS axiom, for every congruency satisfied, we can write this CPCT rule. Not only SAS, few more axiom rules are we going to learn. ASA, RHS, so SSS rule. So for all these, once the congruency rule is decided, we can say that CPCT rule based upon the problem. Okay. So we will discuss regarding congruency some general rules. So when you are writing regarding congruency, if I am taking triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. Okay, it means that both triangles are congruent. Already we have discussed that one, and we have naming conventions also. We have to solve the same thing. So if it is written like this, there is correspondence between the vertices A to P, B to Q, and C to R correspondence. Okay. So once triangles are congruent, I can write the converse of this one also. Converse in the sense, I can say triangle PQR is congruent to triangle ABC. Both are accepted. Okay. I can write the converse also. That means the reverse also. Okay. So triangle PQR is congruent to triangle ABC. Suppose if I have triangle ABC congruent to triangle PQR. Now, one more triangle, triangle DEF. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. Triangle PQR is congruent to triangle DEF. Now, ultimately, we can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. So, this equals to, that means congruent to triangle PQR. Where in this triangle PQR is congruent to DEF. So we can conclude that triangle ABC will be equals to, this congruent to triangle DEF. So this is called as transitive property. Transitive property. If I say generally in algebra, if A is equals to B, B is equals to C, then automatically A is equals to C. In the same way, here also regarding congruence, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR, triangle PQR is congruent to triangle DEF. We can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. So this is called as transitive rule or transitive property. Okay.